There hasn't been a new asset class created since the bond market in 1693. Well, now there's a new one, and it's the digital asset space. Question is, are you participating? Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is a digital asset space. What is going on, guys? Late night stream. Had to get one in today. Looking forward to the hangout with you guys today. What is this? OBS, not OBS, this YouTube studio is something else. What's going on, guys? 11 people in the stream, 2 likes. Don't forget to smash the likes on the way in, guys. Mike Hawks Huge is in the building. Shello, what's up with you, bro? Forrest Whitaker is in the building. What up? What up? What up with you, brother? It's a great day to be in a digital asset space. I can tell you that. Hopefully my phone is charged. Oh, nope, not charged. Not that. What? What's going on, guys? Good to see you guys in the stream today. Tonight, I should say. When Mullet, what's up, brother? Hold on 1 second. Hey. Sorry, guys. I had to make sure my phone doesn't die out on me tonight. What's going on? Alex Sheets in the building. What's up, Alex? I don't know if this has been covered or not, but what? What? Ana Botín is headed where? What? Where's Ana Patricia Botín headed? To the appointed to the advisory board for the IMF? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? What's going on, Derek P? Life is great right now. I gotta tell you, life is great. Tell you what, guys, I've been doing some serious homework on those cash life, what is it? High value or high cash value life insurance. I gotta tell you, I'm really liking what's going on with those things. Really liking what's going on with those things. Guys, do me a favor, if you haven't had a chance yet, go collapse the chat, go smash the like real quick if you're enjoying the hangout, and then come back and hang out in the channel. Chat, Pro Ripple Santander appointee to the IMF. Yeah, and Pro Ripple is a good way of putting it. I saw one person say Ripple partner appointed, but Pro Ripple is an understatement. Tundra Music Review, what's up, bro? How are you doing, my friend? Tundra Music Review. Good to see you on the stream. OC Crypto, great to see you, Siege. Hope you're having a blessed day, sir. I am indeed. Same to you, my friend. That's an interesting appointee, don't you think? Don't you think? She really is, Alex. She chops at the bit at the opportunity to mention Ripple and partnership with Ripple. She really, really does. She really, really does. I gotta tell you, pretty impressive. What's up, Legendary? Good to see you on the stream. She wants instant settlements for Santander this year. No, I know. ¿Cómo está? Danielle, ¿cómo está, mi amigo? Muy bueno. ¿Qué pasó? I gotta tell you. That's some interesting stuff right there. Crypto Siege, do all Ripple products have to use XRP in the background? Negative. They do not, my friend. They Not. X-current speeds stuff up. XRP is the settlement and the cost savings, freeing up the non-traversals dormant capital mechanism. Muy poco, Alex. Muy poco. Very little Spanish. Yo hablo muy poco español. Man, I gotta tell you, I'm excited to hear about that. I mean, so wow. We're gonna go over that as well. But here's the other thing. I was gonna start to stream off what's all the talk about banning of the CBDCs? What's going on with that, guys? What's all this news I'm hearing about? Stiff regulations to flat out banning CBDCs? Whoa, what's up with that? You guys heard about that, right? That is interesting. I actually saw a tweet from the Crypto Lark. He seemed to be a bit alarmed by such a thing. Apparently, the FSB, the Financial Stability Board, is really kind of making recommendations like very, very stiff regulations all the way up to banning. That's some interesting stuff. That's very, very interesting. I may cover that on this stream tonight as well. D. Daniels, what's going on, bro? Benjamin Salisbury, you hadn't heard that, huh? Interesting. Yep. I'm going to try to keep these tabs limited as far as being open, but I will cover that. Sub God 123 is in the building. What's going on, my dude? See you on the stream, bro. Very, very interesting. Is anyone kind of catching the significance of Ana Botín being appointed to the advisory board for the IMF given the current climate that we are in? I'm wondering if the digital nomad investor has covered this. When Mullet, did DNI cover this at all about Ana Botín being appointed? I've seen. What's up, bro? Good to see you in the stream, guys. Do me a favor if you haven't already on the way in. Collapse the chat. Go smash the like if you're enjoying the hangout. It definitely helps with the channel, getting this channel out to more people. Because we always say we want more of us in this space, in this new asset class that is a digital asset space. So, and the likes definitely help. Commenting on the videos definitely helps. And you guys do a great job of commenting on videos. I definitely appreciate that. That's why I always take the time to respond to each and every one of you guys' comment. Gotta tell you. When Mother says, I think it just broke today. Okay. How about that? DNI streams at 10? Oh no, does he really? I thought DNI streamed at 11. Oh man. I didn't mean to do that. I try not to, kind of conflict with the streams and stuff. So that just broke today. Interesting. I did not know that. I thought that came out maybe yesterday. Interesting stuff. It's sick that she's been appointed, says Tundra Music Review. But does that mean XRP will be used? Not sure. Santander uses Ripple, but do they use XRP? In either case, I don't know if they do use XRP, but here's the thing, Tundra. Not only is Santander a Ripple partner, they invested in the company Ripple. Right? They invested, they were one of the seed investors. They invested in the company. So they want all things that work well for Ripple to Ripple's advantage to work as well. And if there's anyone who's intimately familiar, just like Mark Carney is intimately familiar with Ripple and XRP, it would be Ana Botín from Santander, without question. But the thing that I was thinking of when I came across this news was going to the IMF, and if the IMF is going to, if you will, save the day or step in to save the day like they did in 2008, 2009. And, if they're looking to use their SDR more in a better way that applies today, that seems like a good combination. The IMF, who, by the way, is is it Christina or Kristalina? I think it's Kristalina Georgieva. She is very much along the same lines of thinking with President Trump. Okay, very much so. So that whole gold standard, bringing back the gold, that type of thing, and embraces DLT technology. Now you throw Ana Botín into the mix. I'm kind of liking the chances. Yeah, I don't know, Legendary. Did she say possible competition? Or did she just say that Western Union is, looking at something called Shoshin or show whatever it's called, Shoshin. Me personally, what happened here? Let's go dead on me. I personally don't believe that there is a competition. Ripple. That's like me personally. I don't think there's any competition for Ripple. But did she use the word competition, Legendary, or did she just say that Western Union is perhaps not? I know she covered a video about the what is this? The kind of she called it the Kool-Aid type mentality in terms of these few articles that came out about Western Union trialing XRP. Then she pointed to an article where Western Union was looking at something called Shoshin or Shoshin, and that they can operate without having been regulated or something along those lines. But in the end, the challenge with that, the challenge with Western Union and what they're doing and their bonehead approach to things is that, it's one thing to have technology, right? It's one thing to have technology, like maybe this company has technology. But it's quite another thing to get people to use the technology. Now, you could say, well, Western Union has all this different stuff, right? You could say they have these different connections or whatever, right? You could say they have a broad network, right? Have a broad network. The challenge is they're going to end up in a closed garden situation, my opinion, because of the Ripple network. The Ripple network is more powerful than what Western Union has, in my opinion. And so I did a video earlier today about, the very highly unfavorable situation of being someone who is on the outside looking in on RippleNet. That's what I see. So whatever this Shoshin is doing or whatever, is it cost effective? Does it settle in the same way? An ILP is a connector of things, if you will, connects different networks. But first mover's advantage is massive. Very, very massive. And is Western Union going to acquire this company so that the company can continue to stay relevant? Or are they going to leave them on their own, hoping that they can continue to get through it? Right, Shoshin. Yep, saw that video. And I don't know if she said competition. I think she just pointed out that this is the direction that Western Union was looking to move into, but versus trialing XRP, that they may be moving in a different direction. And here's what I will say to that. Just like I said yesterday, I believe, on the stream, in reference to FedNow and the clearinghouse and any other thing that looks at Ripple and chooses to go somewhere else. I think what's most significant to point out is there isn't a fintech company in the space today that has the technology that Ripple has. I mean, that is indisputable. Then you throw into the mix, Ripple has 365 now partners. 365. Then you throw in the fact that they're the only company with a digital asset in this cross-border fintech financial world that has a digital asset that is actually in real world use case, scalable, immutable, all the different attributes that it has. It's the only one. There's, in the business world, especially in fintech, first movers advantage is massive. It's not just a thing. It's just not a catchphrase. In the fintech advancing technology world, first movers advantage is massive. Think about this. Bitcoin and its technology, that first movers advantage is essentially the only thing it has going for it. But it's still here. And it's probably going to be here for another 5, 8, if not 10 years. Because that technology had first movers advantage. Ripple has first movers advantage in the lane that they chose to devote their time, energy, and resources, which is in the cross-border payment space. It wasn't until they mastered that and felt like they had a strong foothold on that as to when they started spraying and started developing other use cases for their technology. So what I would say is, if Western Union chooses Shoshin, cool. They've just decided to choose second best. For whatever arrogant reason, they just chose second best. Those are the facts, my friend. And they are indisputable. It's one of my favorite lines in one of my favorite movies, A Few Good Men, right? So that's what I see. Every time I hear about, some other kind of thing, you got to have the whole thing. You can't just have the idea or just have the technology. You got to have the partnerships. You got to have the working relationships. And how about this? You have to have a network that will allow for a network effect. Your greatest asset in anything that we do, our greatest asset is in our network. Anything. Where's Shoshin's network? There's no network there. So at best, I could see Western Union kind of putting up their own in-house walled garden. At best. At best. And don't sleep on MoneyGram. MoneyGram is going to benefit from the Ripple net and the Ripple network effect. MoneyGram is going to benefit from that massively. Again, that Ripple net, what is that? Ripple net home and connected people together seamlessly at a touch of a button almost is massive. Massive. So if the Fed now and Western Union want to go in a different direction, they've decided to take the second best route. Listen, for every Google, there's got to be a Yahoo. You know what I'm saying? Crypto Universe, what's good, my friend? Good to see you on the stream. Ralph Cranman is in the building. Palm Beach is in the house. How about that? How are you? XRP Carolina is in the building. Guys, do me a favor. We got 60 people on the stream and only 28 likes. Do me a favor, guys. just collapse the chat. If you haven't had a chance to do so already, go smash that like button, then come back and hang out. We are, by the way, on a push to 3,000 subs. We want to make that happen immediately. By the end of this month, we want to get to 3,000 subs. Definitely appreciate you guys sharing this channel and sharing these videos out to those of us who are not yet in this space, because we need more of us in this space. We need more of the average Joes, average Janes to participate in this space, right? We need more of the truck drivers, right? The bake tellers, right? The people that do your lawn. We need more people, the small business owners. We need more of us in this space. So let's get this channel out. Let's get that sub count up, because we are on a race. Definitely 3,000 by the end of it. 5,000 is a longer term goal. 5,000 subs. So if you guys haven't had a chance to sub to the channel, please take the time to sub to the channel. Ring that notification bell as well. XOP Carolina, I'm beginning to think the same thing. They're going to mess around and end up being Blockbuster. Exactly right. I think I said that. I wanted to, right? So, guys, what is going on? I mean, I think this appointment is massive. I really, really do. Let me share it now. Let me share a little bit of something here with you guys. I don't know. I just think this Ana Botín going to the freaking IMF is massive. Crypto Cajun, what's up, bro? Gabe Cozy, they was blocking, now they're scared. I know, right? I need a yacht to retire on. Yeah, I hear you. Miss Crypto Siege loves that yacht life, man. Right? So I think this appointment, this is let me change this view. I'm gonna go over this article a little bit. Mouse went down. I really do think that this appointment is massive. Certainly, it has the potential to be very, very massive. So, Santander Bank Chairman and art collector Ana Patricia Botín appointed to the International Monetary Fund Advisory Board. Group has been formed to tackle major financial issues, including the beer code and its global economic impact. Ana Botín. Let me share some little bit of some Ana Botín stuff with you guys. Came across this guy's Facebook page. By the way, The Crypto Siege, do me a favor if you haven't already. Go smash the likes on The Crypto Siege on Facebook. This is XRP Library. Follow this person as well. Apparently they got some really good stuff here. This is a really good video. Somebody's got some good stuff here. Let me share this with you guys. In case you're not familiar with who Ana Botín is, it's just some highlights of some interviews. It's only 2 minutes long. So here we go.
We are actually announcing next week a very interesting remittances. So at the other end of the spectrum, there is millions of Mexicans that are sending, I think, 36 billion every year from the US to Mexico. We're launching a fast, competitive remittances program, initially just from the Santander branches to any bank in Mexico. So there's a lot of things we can add and bring value to the US consumer. You know, we are launching OnePayFX, which is a blockchain-based retail cross-border payment with Ripple, by the way, a US company. That's coming to the US. We're going to do open bank. There's a lot of things that, and we created the North America region, Mexico, US. So we're now running a lot of these businesses together. So you'll see good results in the coming years.
Some of the big US banks, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Citigroup, have started forming partnerships with tech companies to provide financial services.
Right.
Will Santander do that too?
We've been doing that. You know, we're 100% in favor of innovation. We've partnered with a company called Cabbage, Ripple, many American companies. So what we're doing is we want to take these companies and services. When we don't approve a loan, we pass it on to, in this case, Cabbage. Ripple is at the base of our OnePayFX blockchain base. So this is exactly the point. We need everybody else to be open. So my question to you, what is a critical infrastructure in the digital age? So we used to say telcos were critical infrastructures. Isn't a device a critical infrastructure?
Could make that argument.
Digital wallets. You know how many people have a digital wallet in the world today? More than 2 billion. When you have a digital wallet, who should be part of that arrangement? Is it just the user and the, let's say the phone provider, or should it be whoever is issuing the card also? These are the things that we need to make sure we have clarity on.
Pretty smart lady, I think, guys. Pretty sharp lady, I think, guys. I really do like the idea of her being on the advisory board for the IMF. Wow. Okay, so let me go over this article real quick. Kristalina Georgieva, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, has appointed a new external advisory board of 12 members from around the world, including Ana Patricia Botín, the chairman of Santander Bank and part of Spain's most important family of art collectors. Okay, I don't know how much I want to read on this. Okay, so appointed to the committee, announced on Friday. Okay, Scott Minard, cool, that's great. The chief investment officer of Guggenheim Partners, a financial company formed in 2000, 30 million in Guggenheim family money, 30 million. All right, Minard is the largest private collector of peanuts. Okay, no. The board has been established in response to the challenge the world is facing due to the beer code and its economic impact. The IMF now anticipates the worst fallout since the Great Depression, with the crisis hitting emerging markets and developing countries the hardest. Even before the spread of the beer code and the dramatic health, economic, and financial disruptions it had brought, IMF members confronted a rapidly evolving world and complex policy issues, Georgieva says in a statement. To serve our membership well in this context, we need top-notch input and expertise from the widest range of sources inside and outside of the fund. I am proud that an exceptional and diverse group of eminent individuals with high-level policy, market, and private sector experience has agreed to serve on my external advisory board. That's awesome. So other members include, cannot pronounce that name, Naradzayi Bandara, the chair of Action Aid International, Kevin Rudd, Australia's former prime minister, and Kristen Forbes, professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, both no relation to the Forbes board. Botín, who succeeded her father Emilio as head of Santander in 2014, has called for a Europe-wide action to the pandemic. Writing in the Financial Times on April 7, she praised the ECB for buying public and private debt and the European Commission for creating a shared 100 billion fund to safeguard employment. But she says these steps are sadly the exceptions to the rule. She adds, all too often, national interest has trumped the need for Europe-wide action. Nation states have defaulted to their traditional positions, exposing the political fault lines across the continent. All right, there it is. There, we don't need to care about this art stuff. Don't care too much about that. So there it is, guys. That's kind of the first news that I have heard of that. I just think that is really, I think you can't overlook it. I don't know if we need to get hyped about it, but I think we certainly can't. Is Guggenheim. like to say that word. I love saying that word. Right? Oh, somebody had a super chat. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. Who was it? Oh, XRP Carolina. Thank you, my friend. Thanks for the super chat, brother. I appreciate that big time. Crypto Siege, love your style and approach to this space. Keep up the wonderful work, sir. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. It's always great to see you in the channel, man. Bitcoin been more of a salesman than an influencer now. TJ Jackson, what's up, brother? Yeah. It's, when you make that, you make that move. Bitcoin Ben's a smart guy, and I think he's a good guy overall. But when you make that move from, the move that he made, right? Because at one point, just he was a working guy with the channel, right? This whole partnership business thing. It's a learning thing, right? Partnerships and business stuff. It's a learning curve, It's a learning curve, and so, he'll get better getting that, kind of that message across, and learning to become less salesy. It'll come with some time, but he's definitely got to work on. Definitely's got to work on it. But I think, if your intentions are good, if you're a good dude, in the end you'll be able to win. And I don't know him, but he comes across as being, one of the good guys. So I certainly wish him well in all his different endeavors. I really, really do. Thank you, XRP Caroline. I appreciate that. So, guys, that's I'm just liking it. Again, I don't know if it's a time to celebrate, but I do think to have her there, considering her position and stance, if you will, with Ripple. Again, an investor in the company, right? So she gave up the cash, partner as well, Santander, and using Ripple technology. I think it speaks well. I really, really do. I really, really do. I think it really, really speaks. It bodes well for, I think. Comedian Chuck Reel's in the building. What's going on? Man, good to see you. I tuned into the DNI stream just late last night. I don't know if it was part 1 or part 2 of the reset, something like that. One of those things I tuned in. It was late. It was like 11 something. And I just got like 3 minutes of it. I think I said, hey, and then I had to get out there. But he was like a late night stream. Wow, how about that? Where is he? Oh, there he is. What's up, comedian Chuck Reel? Good to see you, bro. Cadillac's in the building. How are you? 42nd like and 58 chat level up on the siege likes. How about that? About that, Cadillac. I appreciate that big time. So, guys, I think it's great that she's part of the advisory. I really, really do. She'll certainly be able to speak to the pros and cons of DLT. And I think she will have Kristalina's ear when it comes to that. Because, the IMF is going to, obviously they're going to put a list of options, bring a list of options to the table on how they can help deal with these issues. Right. And so for me, with Kristalina, not that Brad doesn't already have it, someone's ear from the IMF, but maybe he didn't after Madame Lagarde left, Maybe he didn't have someone's ear from the IMF, but now he does. Now, in a way that he does, right? I mean, she's on the advisory board to the IMF. And certainly her and Brad have a nice working relationship. Her and when I say her, I'm talking about Ana Patricia, right? So I think it's a good deal. I really do. Sub guy 123. It is good news, Siege. Yeah, I really do. Oh, he's in Singapore. Okay, thanks, Wimella. Cool. I don't feel bad now. He and I had to start over 3 times. He's in Singapore, so he's in a different role. So they have an advisory board, right? So Kristalina put together an advisory board, comedian Chuck Reel, of apparently 12 members to help, give advice. She called it external, from the fund where they get advice, they can give an advisor. And I like that kind of approach, from the outside. I think that was very, very smart of her to do that. And I think it's a big deal that Ana Botín, who is definitely favor of DLT, definitely a fan of Ripple and its technology. But, her being in that space, in the financial space, and the moves that she's looking to do in the U.S. with Santander and OnePay the whole is just, I think it's going to speak great. I really, really do, because, Kristalina's going to have some options again, like to come to the table, and DLT and what XRP, perhaps digital assets, can do. I think it's going to be significant. Maybe this is that next step, right? And this whole ESDR thing, that D&I talks about, the digital nomad investor talks about, that Jim Rickards had mentioned to him. The SDR was going to be used, and it was going to be in the form of an ESDR. What does that look like? Sin City's in the building. What's going on, my friend? Champagne wishes and caviar dreams. That's right, bro. Good to see you in the stream. So I think that's a pretty significant thing. I really, really do. And so we'll have to see. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. When I saw that, I was like, man, that is outstanding. Exactly, comedian Chuck Real. We got another Christine Lagarde in the IMF. In some way, I believe that to be true. In some fashion, I do believe that to be true. I know Kristalina again is she agrees with a lot of the Donald's ideas in terms of gold and back in the dough and bringing back the gold standard. So I think that's an important. So I think a lot of what D&I says, a lot of that chart that we've seen with the AAIB talking about gold and XRP, its friend. All of these, that chart is beginning again. When every time I bring up that chart and read it and see what's kind of going on with HSBC, is feeling more and more and more. Oh, he's back he is in Thailand. Okay. I thought that's where he originally reports out of. I didn't know if he had traveled or something, but I thought it was Thailand. Win Mullet, I thought it was Thailand. But that chart, you remember that chart, right, with the AIB and the HSBC, and it was saying, the regular dollar was gone. It's not eliminated. It's just not the financial system. And that chart is massive. Every time, I see that, it's feeling like it's coming more and more true every single day. No. So, Country Music Review, right? So he says they have tons of partnerships, but what are the odds they decide to use XRP or just another token on the Ripple software? Are we grasping at straws here, boys? Help me be at 100% for XRP. Well, the difference is XRP is the fastest, right? It's the fastest. The XRP ledger, right, and its technology behind it, in settlement, there's just nothing that compares to it. There's like no other asset that would be used when that leads to XRP. I mean, in the end, that is it. They do make a choice, but again, if they want to settle for slower settlement, longer settlement, more expensive, they have that choice. But we're talking about banks and financial institutions, and so why would they choose something more expensive and slower? Why would they choose something more expensive and slower? And then and you throw in the fact that Ripple is still continuing to make other use cases and going into different other spaces like gaming and music, right? You got an exchange using building their exchange on the XRP ledger. You got Kava Labs voting itself to the XRP ledger, right? So they continue to make their use cases. I don't, Gabe Cosby, what happens if they make a Fed coin? I think they have to settle. They transfer cross border. And XRP is the standard for that. That's right, TJ Jackson, because XRP was designed to work with the RippleNet system. Configuration is important. Absolutely. And listen, and that is the key, for me, once on RippleNet, eventually using XRP. Because the cost savings. So if you get 2 or 3 banks on RippleNet, for example, right, they move to using XRP. Now they're saving more than those who are only using Xcurrent, for example. Right? It's that's again as part of that network effect. Right? Who's these banks are competing amongst themselves. If they end up paying more and having slower settlement times, they're going to miss out. They're going to miss out, right? They're going to miss out. And TJ Jackson, you're 1,000% correct. Doesn't matter who creates a coin, interoperability pulls it all together. That's the game changer for me, is when Ripple created the ILP, gifted it to the W3C. The significance behind that is so powerful that everyone's missing it. Masses, that includes inside the digital asset space. You're missing that gift to the ILP of connecting everything together like that is powerful. It's always going to be looked at as Ripple, the company, created it, gifted it. It's just something about creating it, keeping it to yourself, okay, and blowing everything out. Yeah, if you want this, pay for it. If you want this, pay for it. If you want this, pay me, or I will wipe you, off the face of the earth. There's something about that approach and creating it and gifting it to the world. That approach, right, is very, very talked about in the Blue Ocean Strategy book. Is massive. That move to do that, because the W3C ultimately will recognize its value, and it will become the internet of value. There's nothing out there that can compete. Here's the thing. There can be other people trying to create and build something like the IOP. Or the W3C can just use what it is that they have. And don't forget Hyperledger. Don't forget about how Ripple is working with NTT Data and Everest and the Hyperledger book. Ripple's in the mix with that as well. You know what I mean? Starting to make and got that stimulus today, buying XRP. Good for you, my friend. Hey guys, starting to make and got that stimulus. Good for you, my friend. Good for you, man. I'm getting that XRP. I hear you, my friend. I don't know how they're divvying that out. I think they're kind of doing it, per need basis, initially. So good for you, brother. XRP use or not? What does that mean? What is the price difference? Tundra Music Review. What do you mean by what is the price difference? Yeah, and so you definitely want to, if you don't know the price difference yet in terms of the savings, just go to Ripple Insights, go to ripple.com, watch some YouTube channels, watch some videos, and learn about the significant saving, right? And significant savings when XRP, right? So it's a 30-40% savings with Xcurrent, and then it goes up as much as 60 to 70% savings, right? So read about the savings that was it Azimo, and I forget the other partnership talked about 78% savings. I forget the name of the company, right? So you definitely want to do your homework and really look into and dive into Ripple, XRP, the platform, right? You do your homework, learn more about it, right? So, one of the things we talk about here on this channel, Tunji, is that you want to know that you know what hold. You want to know that you know what you hold. Definitely check out some of the deep dive channels like Love for Crypto. Unfortunately, I speak to Europe Media. I'm not sure if they're putting out more videos. Definitely check out the deep dive guys. Learn more about, do your homework, watch more and more videos. CKJ does a lot of deep dives of videos. Sam I Am to the Life Votes on YouTube. Learn about what the thing it is that you hold. Because it's not, they're not putting partner. They're not going to get to 365 partners just because they have first movers advantage, right? So, Bank of America didn't say, well, okay, I'm looking at Ripple, the company. Yep, they were first. I'm going to go with them, right? Right? Bank of America, right? There's a reason why they have a patent with Ripple, right? So they've done their homework. They've done their due diligence, right? They said, what are we getting by working together with you? What it is can you do for us? What can you do for us? The number one thing is, are you going to help us make some money? Banks are in the business of making money. Trust me when I tell you that. They're in the business of. So it's it's all the attributes that XRP has. You this digital asset to free up trillions of dollars in notional virtual accounts. It's a massive thing. But Goldlance is using XRP. They're not using it to free up trillions of dollars, right? They're using it because it allows them to get everyday payments instantly to people on their platform, right? So go check out Goldlance, right? You want to learn more about what they do. Not only banks, but the investors of the banks. Says star in the making. Yeah, it's a lot of attributes. It's settlement. I mean, again, Goldlance, right? Goldlance uses it. It allows for them to pay their people on the platform immediately. Goldlance is not a bank. It's like Goldlance is like I think where you work for pay. You kind of you advertise your skill sets on. Right, that's they're in competition with the main player there. I forget, like I can't remember the name of it right now. Fiverr, and those Goldlance is like in competition with that. And the reason they said flat out on stage, the CEO said, exciting thing for us utilizing ODL is in the ability to pay people on the platform instantly. XRP, what is going on, my friend? Yeah, the banks are in a very, very. It's funny too because they don't realize it yet, but their survival is in RippleNet. Their survival is in RippleNet, right? It's going to take a while for some app, right? It's going to take a while for them to get to where Bank of America is, right? Right? You see what I'm saying? It's gonna take a while, right? So these fintech and these digital companies, it's gonna take them some time to be able to compete with these banks. But RippleNet increases savings. What I love about but it also increases transparency. It might not be the ultimate transparency because we understand that a lot of these things are going to be done on a private network, but it does increase transparency. And I believe ultimately that is a good thing for you and I. And the other part of it is, the adoption. The adoption will allow for you and I to say, hey, I'm here at your bank and I should be getting some instant settlement. If I'm not able to get instant settlement here, I'm going to the bank that can provide me with some instant settlement. You see what I'm saying? And that happens with more and more adoption. CJ Coop 81's in the building. What's going on, my friend? 68 people on the stream, 56 likes. You guys are doing outstanding, man. I appreciate that big time. XRP Benno. What's up, my friend? I realized yesterday that ETH is going to be way more important than I first thought. Huh, how about that? And what helped you to come to that conclusion, XRP Benno? And I just think that there's so many different directions, so many different use cases for XRP. But I think, for me, the biggest picture of them all to me is the liquidity solution. On-demand liquidity. That is, I believe, is going to be such a catchphrase. I believe mainstream media is going to be pushing ODL more than you and I. Like, I really do believe it. Sin City, I don't know what the XLM hype is about lately. I got to be honest with you, I don't know. I've seen some titles from Digital Asset Daily. I think it's Digital Assets Daily, about XLM. Apparently, he is a big fan of XLM. Ultimately, I don't know much about it, so I couldn't speak to it at all. But I couldn't speak to it at all, so I don't know. But I know about XRP, and I know about its use cases and the different attributes that it has. And I think Stellar at best is a front end thing, and XRP is a back end thing. When it comes to networks and partnerships, it's not even close. And until I see the people from Stellar heading over to the White House, right, or heading over and hanging out with Madame Lagarde and the people from the IMF, I don't see it. ETH is going to be so important for in the short to medium term, in my opinion, starting making, because they just have so much money behind them. And if it's in fact true that they're looking to do more things with Ripple and the ILP or the XLPL ledger, if that in fact goes through and moves forward and comes to fruition, Ethereum is going to be massive. If that comes to fruition and they're able to somehow make that, I don't know, layer it on, or however they're going to do it, and ETH is somehow part of that, the XRPL, they're going to win that space, in the space that they operate in. Like, that's going to be massive, in my opinion. If they make that transition, they're already moving from proof of work. They're smart enough to realize that ain't going to work. Rumor is Ripple is investing in Stellar. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything like that since City. So short to medium, short to middle, right? I think Ethereum is going to be massive. Really do. I think it's going to be massive. I think smart money. If I was talking to my son or to one of my dudes at work, I would say, establish your XRP wallet, get that comfortable where you feel good, and then work on the top 5, top 10. That's a very safe and conservative. Some BTC, some more ETH, right? That's, those are safe bets, short to medium term. Yeah, I keep hearing this IBM is backing XLM. I'm not sure about that, because I'm also hearing that they backed out, that they're not really using it or working with them. So not enough confirmations for me with Stellar. XRP Isaac, what's going on, my friend? Hello from Rancho Cucamonga, California. Good to see you in the stream, brother. I don't think I've seen you here before. Appreciate you being here. Don't forget to sub to the channel if you haven't had a chance to do so yet, my friend. If you want to hang out, just don't forget to ring the bell, ring all notifications so that you know when we go live. And also, by the way, we have Wealth Wednesdays. We do Generational Wealth Wednesdays, XRP Isaac, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I might change it to 6 tomorrow, guys, so just be aware that might change it to 6. I do want to do something. Wait a minute. Wednesday, what today? Never mind. 7 p.m. Eastern time, every single Wednesday, we talk generational wealth strategies. One of the sayings we have on this channel is don't tell us about your exit strategy. Tell us about your wealth strategy. One of the greatest fears that I have is that when Moon, the vast majority of people in the digital asset space won't be prepared. So one of the first books we shared on the channel to read together was Strangers in Paradise by Jason Grubman. Strangers in Paradise by Jason Grubman, where it talks about that sudden wealth and how you prepare for that. Absolutely great read. Definitely recommend it. We're currently reading Garrett Gunderson's book. I gotta tell you, I've been a little slack on reading that. I've been reading Fake so much now by Robert Kiyosaki. But Garrett Gunderson's book is called Killing Sacred Cows. Another great read on dispelling the myths in the financial asset space. Like one of those myths is cash life insurance, high cash value insurance. Young New Yorkers in the building. What's good, bro? Good to see you. I'm going to read that. Which one are you going to read, bro? Yes, you'll enjoy that. Jason Grubman, my dude. Jason Grubman. Really great read. It was an eye-opener for me because, again, it just raised my level of awareness and consciousness, if you will, that it's important to prepare. Both now. I got you, bro. Yep. So Strangers in Paradise by Jason Grubman. And Killing Sacred Cows by Garrett Gunderson. But I gotta tell you, Win Mullet, I've been on this Fate by Robert Kiyosaki, man. It's been hard for me to put down. The only reason why I did put it down the last 2 days is I read baby. I read I don't know if she heard me. Jada. See if I can get her to bring these books. I read a book a couple of nights. Can you bring me those books? 2 books that I read about the life insurance. No. So, yeah, I read this book, man. I gotta tell you, I am loving this concept. Loving this concept of these cash value life insurance. I'm loving the concept. Absolutely loving the concept. XRP My Pants said, I've been reading Tiger King, What Not to Do. That Tiger King is something, man. We watched like 2 episodes, and I'm like, I needed a drink after watching. I'm like, what? I needed a drink. I think I'm gonna watch the. Oh, you only see the one? No, it's not. That's okay. But I might be in the bedroom, baby. Yeah, but anyway, that Tiger King was something else, man. I said, you know what, baby, let's rewatch season 3 of Ozark. Let's rewatch season 3 of Ozark. Which book is that you're holding up? Young New York. This is Fake. Thank you, baby. Yes. Um, this is Fake by Robert Kiyosaki. It's he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, obviously, and it's fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. How lies are making the poor and middle class poorer. Great book. I tell you, I picked this thing up and yeah, I've been slacking on the other Garrett Gunderson book a bit. I know the myths. I just want to. He's kind of Gary Gunderson is kind of, if you will, a protege, if you will, of Robert Kiyosaki. He has a different. He has his own style to it, but it's essentially Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's essentially maybe the 21st version, well, of Rich Dad Poor Dad. Cash Flow Quadrant. Who stole my money? Uh, uh, what's the other one? Read so many of his books, but it's basically that 21st version style, or maybe even millennial style, if you will. But yeah, so I read this book last couple of days, Money, Wealth, Life Insurance by Jake Hobson. I asked a friend of mine, was he familiar with some people that were familiar with the concept, the high value cash life insurance. And he's like an independent guy. So he gave me this book. It's become really, really popular. I just saw some guy named Instagram advertising it. Don Chimuta? Same concept. He's calling it something different. And then this is what I got from Palm Beach. This was a great read. Same thing, more detailed on that same concept. How to fund your own worry-free, 100% tax-free retirements. Same concept, but more in depth and better strategies overall, I thought. But you only can get this one if you're with Palm Beach Research Group. But in any case, yeah. So absolutely loving it. When I found out from Deep Mind, when I found out that the Cowboys CEO actually used that strategy to develop and establish his wealth, I was like, what? No way. He said, yep, sure did. He sure did. Sure did. I'm like, I'm on this because I want to obviously it's what it is. It's just it's a great way to generate wealth. And with like almost, it's just almost minimal risk, almost zero risk, almost. I love it. Absolutely love it. It just totally made sense uh, to do it. And I like that there's no minimums, no maximums. So that's a cool. Young New York, you're welcome, bro. Welcome. Sub got 123. We all do, brother. Sub got 123 said, I just have to read more. I got to read more. Yeah, we all do, bro. It's important. That's all we talk about on this channel. 3 things we level up is we level up our XRP IQ, we level up our digital asset space IQ as a whole, and we level up our financial space. So important. Okay, so you've been watching Gary Gunderson's podcast or Robert Kiyosaki's Young New York? They both have one. Julio Castillo. What's up, bro? Good to see you, Julio Castillo. Have you checked in the channel before, my friend? Elizabeth is in the building. Hey, miss, how are you? I almost missed the party. To see you in the stream. Well, yeah, we're almost about ready to wrap up. Elizabeth. I have to hit the grocery store before 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's right up the street, thank goodness. But yeah, we got to hit it by 7 a.m. Got an appointment at 10 a.m. I told Miss Crypto Siege, like, you're going to have to handle a 9 o'clock one because I'm going to hit that grocery store by 7 a.m. Then I'm going to get back and I ain't going to recoup some sleep. One time, first time, brother. Oh, I appreciate you being here, man. Where are you checking in from, Julio? Don't forget to sub to the channel, bro, if you haven't had a chance to do that. This channel is about, bringing more of us into this space, into this new asset class. Hugely, hugely important that we bring more of us into the space. I'm a big fan of Alex Mashinsky and his financial platform, Celsius Network. We want to talk about thinking and acting like financial institutions. That's a platform you definitely want to check out. There's always a link in the description of every video that I do about the Celsius platform where you earn money on your money. Let me put it to a different way. You earn interest on your money, and then you earn interest on that interest. It's what the wealthy do. The wealthy leverage the assets that they have safely. And I can't think of a better platform right now in the digital asset space to do that than the Celsius Network. Good night. Love your content. Good night, XRP Isaac. I appreciate that, brother. Have a great night. Well, I guess since you're wrapping it up and I'm not home yet, I'll just say peace, XRP. Peace, Eli. Have a great night, brother. Morris Princey 7, what's going on, bro? At Crypto Siege, what do we have for Wealth Wednesday? I just logged back in. I don't know what we're going to do yet for Wealth Wednesday, Morris Prince. I got to tell you, I'm thinking about going over that cash value life insurance again. I really do think it's important, and I really do think it's important to start soon. I think it's one of the genius moves that you can do. I really, 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 really do. I've been able to dispel some myths, and I'm really excited about that because financial education is so huge. And the challenge is it's not our fault, and it's not the masses' fault that they are uneducated when it comes to financial literacy. It's not taught. It's not taught enough so that people know. It's not, unfortunately. And that's why Killing Sacred Cows is a good book to read, because it really dispels a lot of myths. A lot of people just, quite frankly, aren't aware of it. And what can happen a lot of times is, we used to say, all the time in my early days of business, we used to say, there's a 95% chance that everything you know comes from people in the 95% income bracket. There's a 95% chance that everything that you know comes from the 95% income bracket. Right? And, in the 5% or the 3 to the 1%, there's a different thinking. There's a different talking. There's a different acting. Right? My mentor used to say to me all the time, CJ, walk away from the 97%. Don't walk the way that they walk. Don't act the way that they act. Don't talk the way that they talk. Find out what they read and don't read those books. Find out where they hang out and don't hang out where they hang. Walk away from the 97%. It's very, very true. It's one of the best advices ever. Really, really. And the challenge is, it's scary. His name is Lloyd Chandra Music Review, right? He's one of few mentors that I have, but he would be like my number one guy, millionaire real guy, right? So we were in business together for a while as well. But Benjamin Salisbury says, love Celsius. How about that, right? And so the challenge is, when you're in the 3%, right, and you're walking northbound, right, and you got the 97% walking southbound, it can be a little scary, right? Because you're walking in this direction and they're heading toward you. It can be a little scary. So it's a little scary to think and act differently than the 97%. It's a little scary to kind of, challenge that status quo. It can be scary. It can be scary. So I say thank God for people like Robert Kiyosaki, who was willing to take on the challenge, right? Of willing to take on this massive undertaking to challenge the status quo. I think that's huge. And then here comes along this Gary Gunderson guy. He's really the same thing, more in the 21st version, if you will. They've been on shows together and talking, interview style on YouTube and stuff like that together as well. And it can be scary, it can be really, really scary to kind of learn to do your own homework, do your own due diligence, gather up information and gather up information and then come to your own conclusion. You got to make sure you're looking in different places, right? And insurance is just one of those things that has just been proven to be incorrect. It's so funny. It's such a funny thing. It really is. Term insurance, whole life insurance, cash value life insurances. When you ultimately understand the numbers, and when you add to it the market, the stock market, because you got to put your money somewhere to do something. When you ultimately understand the real numbers behind the stock market, it's like, whoa, hell yeah. It's very, very sad. And it's a whole industry of financial planners stuck. They're stuck because they chose that as their livelihood, because in their heart of hearts, they want to help people. But they just been fed this huge, huge lie. And unfortunately, the people that pay them are getting paid by the people that are feeding them misinformation. Misinformation. I mean, that's the thing. I would wholeheartedly disagree with you on that. XRP my pants. The right whole life insurance is by far, and I'll share that with you tomorrow if you show up, by far significantly better than buy term insurance and invest the difference. That is one of the biggest fallacies. One of the biggest fallacies out there. Yeah, the market's not all that great, Tundra Music Review. I need somewhere to put my money. All assets are going down right now. All my real estate, all stocks, all businesses. Now what? I know. I got to tell you, I like the idea of having my digital assets earn interest every week and then earn interest on that interest. I like that. Yeah, I know. AppMex. I went on there on AppMex the other day, Tundra, and they were like, out of stock, wait, there's, get on the wait list for some silver. It's like, what in the world? Crypto Dread, what's up, my friend? Yeah, I know. I did that. I did a very, very similar thing. A very, 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 very similar thing. With my TSP, it's very much the same kind of thing with your TSP, right? The TSP is like a now you can't just do it with the company that just opened up 5 years ago, right? XRP my pants. It has to be with the established institutions, right? That's been around for a while, right? Right. But I did something very, very similar when I had a job. I was a federal employee, and what they did is, they sold you on, the 401k type of plan, what they call the thrift savings plan, right? TSP for federal government employees. So it's essentially Wall Street's version of a 401k, right? And they have this thing here where you have options with your money. Now it's even more options. But back when I had to, kind of that, had to get the work thing, they had this option where you could take your money out, penalty, pay the penalty, or you could get a loan on your money, right? You could get a loan on your money. And I looked into it, and I looked into it, and when they finally got it across to me that you pay an interest on your money, but your payments, first of all, the money that you leave in there is still earning interest, and then the money payments that you make on your own loan is making interest. It's making interest as well. You know what I mean? And I remember thinking about that, and I was comparing it to what they do with high cash value life insurance. When I looked at the different people doing it and using it, when I found out for myself and did my own homework and found out how the major banks, massive multi-billion-dollar companies do it, I thought to myself, well, can I learn to think and act like financial institutions? The challenge is in learning it and doing it. You got to know all the ins and outs of it, because if you hook up with the wrong whole life insurance company, XRP my pants, you are going to be in trouble. You're going to be in big time trouble, because I don't want to say unfortunately, because what I will say is there's a broker, a salesman, right? There's a person between you and that, right? There's a commission dude between you and that policy that you're wanting to get, right? There's a commission dude between there. And if you come to the table unprepared, if you don't know about MEC limits, if you don't know about a PUA rider, if you don't know these things, they're going to give you what you want. That's the thing. They're going to give you what you want. But if you don't know what you want, or if I want to get one of those things. I want to get that. If you don't know, but I need this MUA, I need this PUA, and I need it to, not exceed my MEC limit. If you don't know, they're not going to just, hey, you should look into this, adding a PUA rider to your thing. Hey, do you know how the MEC limit works? And hey, they're not going to do that. Right? That person between you and getting that particular policy, they got a wife and kids too. Right? They got Miss Mutual Insurance too, right? They got it, right? They got Mass Mutual Insurance kids too, right? So it's incumbent upon us to level up our financial space IQ so that we take it to them what it is that we want. And we can share with them how beneficial it is for them to give us what we want now, and then they can start focusing on what they'll get long term. But if you don't know it, how can you? That's the difference. The difference in, like Robert Kiyosaki says, I love it. He says, there's people talk about insurance talk about investing is risky and da-da-da-da. He said that's not true. Investment is not risky. You are risky, right? You are risky. You're risky. That's the challenge. That is the challenge, my friend. And the idea is to learn more and more and more about what it is that you do, right? And that's why we have we had Deep Mind on the channel. and he was talking about wealth advisors and how you put together a wealth advisory team. Yeah, MEC limit and PUA. That's what I said, my friend. Tangier Music Review. MEC limit, PUA. PUA is a type of writer, right? So RIDER. So and he was talking. What is it? He was talking about vetting your wealth advisor and a wealth advisor team. Here's the challenge: if you don't know how to properly vet that team, if you don't know the questions to ask, if you don't have a foundational list of questions to ask, how can you get the best of what you're looking for? It's incumbent upon us to come to the table prepared. That's the question. Are you prepared? That's the difference. All right, John, Young New York, thank you, brother. Have a good night, bro. We'll see you tomorrow, man. See you tomorrow. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, so to answer to your question, Morris Princey 7 is I haven't decided yet what we're going to talk about, but maybe we should look more into that. And because I think it's important to dispel the myths. And it's again, it's not our fault. It's not the financial planner's fault, I'll say. Well, here's the thing that I want you to think about for a second. And here, this will prove my point. When you talk to the vast majority of financial planners today about the digital asset space, what kind of responses are you getting? What kind of responses are you getting? But the reason why you can smile, and you can do two things. The reason why you can smile and walk away, or you can educate them on what it is that you know, is because you have taken the time to level up your IQ on the digital asset space. But if you didn't take the time to do that, you wouldn't be able to. And then there would go another financial planner and or advisor who doesn't know about the digital asset space. He doesn't think it's a real thing. Who has zero clue. I talked to a guy from Merrill Lynch, Bank of America. The dude had no clue about the digital asset space. Had no clue about what Bank of America was doing with Ripple. Had not heard of Ripple. Had not heard. Yeah. Once you have cash value in the plan, yes, you can borrow from that cash value. Yeah. So that's the difference. You kind of have to know. And that's a great example, I think, the digital asset space. And we're talking financial planners. You and I, when we go to the table, listen, 99%, 9 out of 10 financial planners and advisors, I don't care how long they've been doing financial planning and advising, they don't know what XRP, Cardano, EOS, Stellar Lumens. They have zero clue about the digital assets. Don Stoops, you're right. It is going to be huge. Right? And that's the challenge. That's exactly right. Legendary is like, I wouldn't hire that dude. And that's the challenge. It's going to be so challenging. We're almost going to be at a point where we are going to have to give them grace, if you will. I'm talking wealth advisors now, not the financial planners. We can educate ourselves enough to, not need a financial planner. Wealth advisors is a whole different game, right? Because that's a new thing that we're all learning, right? Being a high net worth individual and being an ultra high net worth individual. That's a new thing to us, right? That's a new game that we're playing. So when we talk wealth advisors, private investment bankers, right? That's a new thing. That's going to be a whole new learning curve. But part of it is being able to vet them and understanding, the better teams to work with, more experience, the ones more flexible, better knowledge, their reach. What kind of reach do they have, right? What kind of reach do you have? What kind of doors can you open for me? Because I got the money. I'm bringing my money to the table, right? I'm bringing my money to the table. What kind of doors can you open for me and my money? Tell me about that. Those are the things that we talk about on Generational States, guys. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up here. It's been a real cool hangout. I appreciate all you guys being here. I hope you tune in tomorrow. Tantric Music Review and Extra P My Pants. Hope you guys have a chance to tune in tomorrow. Tap the Line showed up tonight. What's going on, brother? It's been a great hangout tonight. I'm glad I got to stream in. Like I said, I got to hit that grocery store tomorrow by 7 a.m. in the morning. Or else, we won't be able to re-up. We will not be able to re-up unless we're there early in the morning. So, absolutely. Big time, guys. All right, guys, listen, I appreciate you guys hanging out. Some Real Guy, what's up, bro? Appreciate you being here today, my friend. Yeah, look that up, Tundra Music Review. Look it up. It's hard to find. It's very, very hard to find it. Here's the challenge with that MEC and PUA. Most people in the whole life insurance business aren't familiar with. That's real talk. Yep. That's real talk, my friend. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap up the stream like I do all my streams and remind you of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sideline? Here's what I do know. That the battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.